Every producer I know has struggled with beatblock at some point. And if you clicked on this video, I assume you do too. So in this video, I'm going to break down my mental framework and 5 practical steps that have helped me overcome beatblock once and for all. Let's dive right in. Before you start off, what even is beatblock now? Before you think I'm crazy for asking you that, just hear me out. In my opinion, there's a fine line between not feeling inspired and actually not being inspired. Let me explain. See, we all know what we should do, right? But sometimes we face this inner feeling, this inner resistance that stops us from taking action. And this feeling I call resistance can take many shapes or forms. For example, instead of focusing on your music, you might find yourself reaching for your phone, or your mind may come up with excuses as of why you can't make music right now. I think you get that point. Now, it's important for you to understand that this resistance, this feeling, is an evil force, and it's the enemy of every creative out there, not even just producers, even musicians, painters, writers, everyone. However, we all know that on certain days, it doesn't matter how hard we try, it doesn't matter how hard we push ourselves to come up with something, it just doesn't feel right. But in 9 of 10 cases, it's just resistance holding you back, and I'm going to show you the mental framework I use to combat this. Now, this mental framework has been so important for me in increasing my discipline, boosting my creativity, and improving my overall music production, because it has helped me to differentiate between moments of resistance, this evil force, this evil feeling inside of us, and genuine lack of inspiration. Let's talk about the framework. The mindset I use when approaching music is quite simple. I have this rule, and I call it the 30-minute rule. So whenever I lack inspiration or feel resistance towards doing music, I have to sit in front of my laptop and I'm not allowed to do anything besides music. I can't go on my phone, I can't open up YouTube, and I can't even leave my chair. Now, I'll be honest, this takes a little discipline to implement into your life, but this simple trick has helped me to get to a point where I don't even experience beatblock anymore. So what usually happens is that when I sit in front of my laptop, not allowed to do anything, literally not allowed to even move, I start getting bored, and then I open up FL Studio and I start trying something, because I think to myself, either I'm gonna sit here for 30 minutes or I'm gonna try and make some music. And that's usually when I get inspired. Now, the rest of this video is dedicated to solving the 10% of times when you genuinely lack inspiration. If you follow the framework and go through these tips one by one, I will guarantee you that you will never experience beatblock again. Okay, tip number 1, watch tutorials. Whenever you watch a tutorial, you get exposed to new techniques and information. And oftentimes this is enough for me to get inspired. You can try the new technique you learned in the tutorial, or create something with a similar vibes, with the same plugins if you have them, whatever. Just watch a tutorial and see if you get inspired. Tip number 2, use starters or loops. Often for me, the struggle lies in coming up with something from scratch. And sometimes all it takes is an idea of another producer to get you going and getting in that flow state. Or even when you not get in flow state, it still helps you getting your work done, even if you don't feel like doing music at all. Tip number 3, try a new genre. One thing I do often as well is trying new genres. If you only make trap beats, try R&B, dancehall, or drill. I mean, you can either rebuild a beat you like, or you can just watch tutorials. Plus, you can always implement the new techniques you learned in dancehall, for example, and implement them into your trap beats layer. And this is how you develop your own sound and potentially create a new wave. Tip number 4, take a short break. If those 3 tips didn't help you to get inspired, it's time to take a break. I would go outside, get some fresh air, or maybe even go on a walk. But what I've found to be the most important is that you leave your phone at home and just be with your thoughts, kind of bore yourself. And oftentimes I find that 15 to 30 minutes outside recharge you in a way that you couldn't even imagine. So take an undistracted pause. Let's be honest, we all know that when you just like take a break and just be on your phone, like WhatsApp, Instagram scrolling and stuff, you don't feel recharged after those 15 minutes, right? You just feel like more drawn into it, more, your mental clarity is gone, whatever, right? So take an undistracted pause outside. Tip number 5, the recharge. If none of those tips helped you overcome beatblock, there's only one thing that will. Sometimes as producers or creatives, you just need to take a break from whatever you're doing and focus on other things. And this is completely normal, so don't start beating yourself up about it, you know? I always felt bad when I wouldn't make music for 2 days or something like that. I always felt guilty, but you don't have to, bro. It's a completely normal thing that happens to all of us. Now what I do is the following. I take either a day or a whole weekend off music, okay? 100% off. I don't send mails, I don't do anything related to music, I don't think about music, I don't do none of that. And it's crucial that you get out of your normal routine and environment. Do something you've never done before, or something that you normally wouldn't do in your day-to-day. Maybe go paintballing, try boxing, do a wellness weekend, whatever. In the end, only you know what really recharges you. Maybe it's talking to like-minded people, maybe it's reading a book. Doesn't really matter as long as you get out of your routine and take your mind off music. And when you get back from that extended break, I promise you, you will feel inspired and motivated again to get back to work. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to wait for prime beat block to kick in before you can do all this. Just dedicating one afternoon a week to doing something like that, to trying something new, to experimenting with something, to taking your mind completely off music, will not only cure your beat block, but it will improve your life. Now the last thing I wanted to touch on is discipline. Because like everything in life, following these steps and implementing this mental framework will take discipline. And you will feel resistance against watching a tutorial, against trying a new genre, and your mind will come up with reasons why you can't do it now, right? Just understand that every time you give into that resistance, you're moving further away from your goals and dreams. And every time you beat it, you get closer. So it's on you. If you're still watching, you probably got some value out of this. So what are you waiting for, bro? Just hit that subscribe button below and leave a like. I appreciate you. See you in the next one.